is a Mavs mascot, except in this case for Valentine's Day, he's wearing what appears to be like a pink tutu, and he has like a pink thing on his head too. Is this trans champ?
Is Champ a guy?
I don't know. That's the thing, is that you would I guess I thought that Champ was a male, but now we can just, hey, it's Valentine's Day, put a skirt on him?
I thought that's illegal in Texas.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I mean, the Rangers.
That's a
definitely-
drag
There's children
show. That's
there.
basically a drag show.
It's exactly by the letter of the law. This guy's performing in
You have to
in
follow
drag.
him and see where he goes to the bathroom.
That's right.
They had some balance halftime show. Real quick, they had the balance lady on the balance ball,
Yeah.
and she's not in like great shape. Kind of looked like she was gonna fall back and hit her head on the court a couple times, and then she gets off the ball, and trans champ gets on the ball and kind of did the bit. And I was like, okay, it's
Proving
pretty
anyone.
good actually. It's a rubber boy,
champ.
but it was good.
This is a holdover from the Scent era, where you could do this sort of thing and have a trans horse as your mascot for Valentine's. That's my Mavs coverage.
My one other thing was just I did
Looking at the future contracts and who's going to opt in, and maybe who's big free agent pickups for our Lakers.
no, I did order my Luka jersey tee.
Oh, yeah.
And like the NBA store, I got it on eBay. The NBA store is like, yeah, you'll get it March 25th.
I know.
Whoa, what's going on here?
I'm scrambling.
I know Raymond is selling them over at on our merch site, E6 Sportswear or dumbzonemerch.com.
Dumbzonemerch.com.
I don't remember what it is. He's selling a version of his own.
And I thought about that, and that's a good deed. But for me, I look at like the hard luck franchise that they are and thought my money needs to go directly to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh man.
So I made sure I went straight to
So
the
that they can
source.
build around him.
I know. Yeah.
And then, of course, the NBA All-Star Game was yesterday. Did you watch any of that? Apparently, like it was a little mini tournament of games.
Yeah, they had 4 teams.
Shaq's OGs. Shaq was the coach of one of the teams, and it was called Shaq's OGs. So I guess the older players were on that team.
Yes, they had a big draft for three of the teams. Like Charles, Kenny, and Shaq got a team. Anthony Davis was a 3rd-round pick in the full NBA fantasy draft, I guess.
That pretty much checks.
He went the top 9, and then he got hurt and couldn't play. I think Kyrie replaced him.
How'd LeBron play?
No, Jake.
He did not play.
Why didn't he announce this earlier so someone else could play then? You guys are telling me he showed up at the All-Star game and didn't play?
Well,
did he just make an announce? Like, how did he?
He earned his spot to be there.
That's right.
Okay.
And then
So
he
you're saying he
decided
shouldn't
at
have
the
gone?
last moment, you know what? It'd be better for Luka's future if I just didn't play today.
Oh, okay. It was a benevolent act from our Lord
You want
and
some other
Savior.
spare from the West to get in?
So you the guy that's upset that Garth Brooks is at spring training because
Yeah, and
there's
that-
not some guy getting his shot?
And that
Why is Russell Wilson taking balls at second?
Steph
Justin
Cur-
Foscue
it's-
should be getting some.
Steph Curry got somebody's invitational card for a FedEx event or something?
Dude, that was Romo's card. What are you doing?
It is.
Did you see the team picture?
Okay, let's be honest. Hilarious. It's an absolutely hilarious LeBron move. And
Anthony
he doesn't
Edwards also, same thing happened. He didn't end up playing.
Okay.
Anthony
LeBron
Edwards.
is at a pregame press conference talking about hey, what do we expect from you tonight? Oh, I'm not going to play. What do you mean you're not going to play? You're LeBron.
Did you see the team
Yeah,
photo?
hey, guess what? I'm going to do it. Can you imagine Jordan doing this? No, of course you can't.
No.
See the what?
The team photo is amazing.
No.
They're all in their jersey.
Is he wearing
Kyrie, they got
flowing
this
robe in a crowd?
dumb blue jersey on, and LeBron's in his street clothes, and they take the team photo. It's like
You know what?
he could have gone back and just thrown the jersey on real quick.
You know what you need to prepare for? Is the time that he announces before a season that this is my last season.
Oh,
Because there's absolutely no way he does the Tim Duncan.
Nope. It'll get out, and then he'll have no idea how it got out.
Like Dirk announced it later in the season, real late, just so
But everyone knew.
everybody kind of knew, but you didn't do it throughout the whole year. Like, this is old school. When I was a little kid, Kareem announced his thing, and then every city he would go to would award Kareem something.
Didn't the Rangers give him like a gun?
Well, the Rangers, the Mavs.
Who am I thinking of? I'm conflating the Cal Ripken
Cal
story.
Ripken?
Yeah.
Where they had his locker for
I think
him.
Dr.
and-
J might have done this as well. But
I swear the Mavericks got somebody like a motorcycle
Well,
or something.
Dwayne Wade's retirement tour was ridiculous. I mean, it was.
I don't remember that.
It was at the end of every game for 30 minutes, standing on the court, waiting on everyone to tell him how great he is.
Well, you're about to see that times a million.
God.
Whenever LeBron does decide, unless he gets a career-ending injury in a game.
But again,
Which every time he gets injured, he acts like that.
when it happens, he will have been shocked that it came out. And towards the end of the season, you'll start seeing trailers for the documentary dropping that fall on his full last season. But he didn't know anything about it. He just thought these guys were hanging out like at all times.
Yes, they will document every moment of
Oh,
it.
my
It's going to be
God.
great, man.
Does it bum you out just a little bit that if they win the title next year or this year that it'll be LeBron's title, not Luka's?
Spin zone, LeBron needed Luka to get another one.
That's not what people will say.
That's what I'll say. And then Luka will have two on his own, so no harm, no foul.
Well, I don't think they're going to get one because Luka's too fat.
Yeah, that might be. Of course, the spin zone will say he got with LeBron, then he started taking things more
Redick
seriously.
was able to
and all
actually
that.
get to him.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, really? They got a coach that could talk to him? I wonder. Mac McClung, pretty impressive stuff. The dunks.
Look,
So
what can
he's
I
just
say?
a G League player?
Yeah, he's bounced around. Has he actually played an NBA minute?
I think they call him up to a roster a week before.
He's
the
won
All-Star
3
game every
straight
year.
dunk contests.
He has.
Yeah.
He has. He was a very fun player in college.
Yeah, Tech.
Yeah.
It's good teams.
And then Wemby and Chris Paul was the other thing from the skills competition Saturday night.
God.
Which I'm really happy that happened because it made me actually watch some of the skills competition. Like, that's the only reason I would have seen that. Did you see it, Blake?
I saw 4 seconds of it and saw what they did and thought that was childish.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, they read the rules, and
Made me happy.
you had to either make a shot. You had to shoot 3 shots or make one. And so they're like, well, time-wise. And so immediately, I thought what Matt Brunig thought was that, of course, Chris Paul came up with this idea because he's the guy that reads the rules. And apparently it was Wemby.
I love it.
All reports are that Wemby came up to Chris Paul and said, hey, I
Great.
was just looking at how you do this. And
Somebody
So-
has to carry the mantle of being a damn cop during NBA games for the next 15 years,
yeah.
like Chris Paul has. Mac McClung, yeah. Like I said, man, it feels like every sporting event that passes or every cultural event, it's like, boy, the whites are really,
Coming back.
really. I mean, I'm looking at Cooper DeJean
Cooper
celebrating
DeJean.
his Super Bowl over the weekend.
White guys are winning the dunk contest.
Dunk contest, DBs, you know, unstoppable.
Seen Paul Skeens lately?
As soon as we get that halftime show back,
We're back, boys. All right, let's talk about SNL in a minute.
That time of the month is here. We all get 12 of these a year. So grab a seat and crack a beer. Perspective from a peer. That's right, it's book report time where the real Blake Jones comes alive. Some romantic novel or thriller. Book report of the month is so killer. Blake, what did you read? Blake, what did you read? It's time for NVR on a podcast, not NPR. Pages turning like ASMR. All day we're learning nothing. Blake Jones, please teach us something. turn the page, we're entering our bookworm phase. Hot book bitch season. I never wanted to read, never had a reason, until Blake Jones' monthly book report. We can't get enough, give us more. It's time for an MBR monthly book report. On a podcast, not NPR. Pages turning like ASMR. All day we're learning nothing. Blake Jones, please teach us something.
Dum 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 dum. It's the dumb zone. Hey Dan McDowell, Jake Camp and Blake. Now that makes a crowd. I love to listen every day now. If he could do it, I would take a bow. It's the dumb zone. Ladies, let's dance and hope these fellas will give us a chance. Please, Mr. Dan, you make me cream. It's the dumb zone, ladies, let's dream. Dum 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 dum. It's the dumb zone. Hey there, McDowell, Jake Camp and Blake. Now that makes a crowd. I love to listen every day now. If you could do it, I would take a bow. It's the dumb zone. Ladies, let's dance and hope these fellas will give us a chance. Please, Mr. Danny, make me cream. It's the dumb zone. Ladies, let's dream. Dum 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 dum. It's the dumb zone. Hey there, McDowell, Jake Camp and Blake. Now that makes a crowd. I love to listen every day now. If he could do it, I would take a bow. It's the dumb zone. Ladies, let's dance and hope these fellows will give us a chance. Please, Mr. Dan, you make me cream. It's the dumb zone. Ladies, let's dream.
Dragged in Productions, bringing you some dumb shit. puppet, said no puppet, no puppet, no motherfucking puppet, yeah, no puppet, no puppet, no motherfucking puppet, said no puppet, no puppet.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
You mentioned Lucy earlier, Blake. What was that about? Oh, that those are great for
For the softball games.
the softball game when
Yeah.
you're not allowed to soil the field.
Yeah, you can't spit your dip or sunflower seeds, so just pop that thing in there. And, after a bad AB, I just pop my little espresso pod, put me in a better mood.
I'm not sure you had many bad ABs.
No
I know you
puppets.
gave one a ride deep that got caught.
This is a Lucy Reed.
Yeah, well, Lucy's great for snowboarding. Also, I have some right here. Have some in my bag that I keep at all times. Got the Apple Ice for you there. So go to lucy.co/dumbzone. Use promo code dumbzone, Blake, and you'll get 20% off your first order.
Done.
It's Dumb Zone. Dumb Zone for 20% off. Here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Great for skiing.
Says here it's great with your morning coffee or midday slump.
Well, I got a better idea. How about you just keep one in all the time?
How about your midlife slump?
Never
and just
slump.
never slump.
Midlife. But went downstairs to go TT, and your wife was going list by list, or like bullet point list of what every single charge was on this bill. It's incredible.
Like on the phone?
Yeah, on customer support. And what is this charge right here?
Okay, it must be an insurance thing.
I'm saying that's great.
She doesn't handle anything except for medical, which is kind of like its own thing on itself. Like she's just always having to follow up on, did I pay this bill 3 months ago? Now I'm getting this bill again?
Yeah,
And
that's a big
then-
deal in the fertility game.
Yeah?
Yeah,
But I mean it just seems like this is a bad system.
yeah,
Just because she does spend a ton of time on that, like every weekend is just.
it's crazy. I mean, it's so great. Like
Then you gotta get on the phone.
It's just part of life, and you accept it, and then every once in a while, a guy gets a crazy idea, follows a guy in Midtown Manhattan, and you're like, whoa.
What's that all about? All right, let's talk SNL, man. That's why KT, Kevin Turner, is here, because he's stoked on SNL. We did the SNL draft, as you recall. I'm in his SNL league.
How'd that all turn out?
Great.
Was it a big payoff?
I mean, how'd it turn out? We're still going. What are you talking about?
Still happening.
Yeah.
Hey, who won your SNL bracket the other day?
Will Ferrell.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Not
Will
much
Ferrell.
of a sleeper.
You know, everything doesn't have to be a bracket.
No, trust me, I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you make everything into a bracket.
Do I?
What seed was he?
I don't feel like I haven't done a bracket in years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like he feels
Maybe
like
it's just
he's
the
being
Ben and Skin
attacked.
show.
I get.
Now they mute
Plug
his
that thing
mic.
back in.
What happened?
You have to plug it back in.
Nah, see, I get
Low
lumped into
budget
so
on it.
much stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not you.
There's a lot of negative perceptions about me that are really not fair.
Well, was Will Ferrell the one seed?
He was one of the one seeds.
Okay, well,
There's many. Once Eddie Murphy was another one seed.
took the chalk.
Dan, though, on the board in the SNL fantasy draft with his Gracie Abrams pick.
His?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely is. He,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know he loves Gracie Abrams and her music.
Hell yeah.
Who is this?
I can't wait.
TC not on the board, and he's in danger of being relegated.
You've got relegation in this.
Oh yeah, if you're last place, you're out. Yeah, because there's so many people who are dying to get in the league.
I've been waiting forever, honestly.
I think you guys should get in next year
Yeah, save me a spot.
with me.
See if you can stave off TC.
Anyway, overall, my view, long, like you said. But overall enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's just member berries, right? It's seeing a lot of the stars in the
I will say this,
it was
man.
very impressive who was in the crowd.
So impressive, and that hit for me on Friday night because we watched most of the music thing too,
Yeah, the concert was dope.
and it hit me like I've never seen this many famous people in one place in my life, like even the Oscars. Because at the Oscars, if you look around, every other table is full of people you don't recognize. There'd be a table with this. Then there's these dorks. But at the SNL concert and in the crowd last night, it was basically every person. You're like, in the beginning, even before they cut to him, just paused it, scanned the crowd in the open. I'm like, that's Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Why,
really?
Why is Peyton Manning sitting behind Kevin Costner and next to Larry David?
It's very weird. The seating chart, I definitely want to see the blueprint of that. I even watched like the red carpet show.
I recorded it.
It was a give up, and John Mulaney said something that I thought was really good. He said, I've been on a lot of red carpets, but this one is actually like everyone's talented. Because we're at a point where a lot of people are just famous for being famous. We don't know why. We live in a Mr. Beast and Drewski world. And no, I don't know what Drewski does, but I see him everywhere.
Plays basketball.
So it is like these are actually people who have all accomplished a lot of things. And it is weird that there's some people there. Like, I don't know that Costner has a lot of direct ties to SNL, so I just think it's weird that he's chosen to be there. But, it's a lot. It was packed in there last night. That was a lot of fun.
I was reading about how the SNL, the after party, was like an exclusive event. It was 300 people was a limit or something like that. Did you know about that?
No, I didn't.
Like, it's just the hardest party to get into. Even people who were on the show might not get in. Or some.
You talking about the usual one or last night's?
Last night's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, maybe Piscopo doesn't get into the after party on that last night. It did not open with bit. It opened with song.
Really weird decision.
I thought that was a little bit weird. Paul Simon, though, is like well-known Lorne guy.
Lorne's friend, yeah.
Was, big part of the 70s, I guess, shows. Didn't like this version of it. Who was he with?
Sabrina Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter. I prefer the version by Justin Theroux in The Leftovers.
Okay.
Did you do Leftovers?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember when he was singing that?
Karaoke, yeah.
Yeah.
It is weird that the SNL 50 first joke is from Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I thought that it was a holdover from the red carpet thing or something. Like, why are they? There's no cold open. It's not. Sabrina Carpenter's been famous for like a year.
So I watched SNL 40 yesterday morning just to rehash my memory, and they opened with a big Justin Timberlake, Jimmy Fallon, high energy.
Yeah,
thing. So I was kind of hitting the downer thing with this.
Yeah, I thought they might do bit. I was thinking, so I was trying to predict it in my head. They would do all the surviving cast members: Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, Garrett Morris, Lorraine Newman. They would put them in a bit together. And I wonder if they thought about that, but then as you see them all throughout the show, although wait, I'm trying to think of where was Chevy anywhere?
He was there, but yeah,
Not really in a skit, right?
no, because I don't think you can do anything with him anymore.
Yeah.
That must be the reason, because obviously he was in a TV show fairly recently. Is that a decade now?
It's now,
Community?
by the time they get 10 plus years.
Garrett Morris at the end was just sitting in a chair, so I'm thinking there's some mobility issues with Garrett Morris. And they're like 80, so
Yeah.
maybe they just weren't able to do a bit with those five. Lorraine Newman did a thing where she walked around. That was funny.
Yeah, that was cool. Aykroyd wasn't there.
Why?
Apparently, and I don't know.
Oh,
why.
okay. Maybe there's
Yeah.
But,
health issues.
he got to do his thing at the 40th with Bassomatic, and it was not that great. So, the other one, Bill Hader was also not there, but he also had to evacuate his home 2 weeks ago in California.
Oh, wow.
So he said he politely declined the invitation.
Bill Hader wasn't there?
Yeah.
Now that you
weird.
say that, that does stand out.
They
'Cause
had
he's-
what? Was he in a pre-recorded bit?
They did a commercial. There was a commercial. I forget what the client was. It was the Californians.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to. Well, so the Jason Sudeikis bit with Kate McKinnon, maybe.
Which
What there was? I thought there was a crowd bit with Jason Sudeikis. Maybe it was Will Forte. I think it was
Will Forte and
I confuse all three of those guys, to be honest with you. In your computers now.
yeah, it's all right.
Not
Will
appreciated.
Forte and Jason Sudeikis were a part of the John Mulaney New York musical.
Yeah. Which
But-
Mulaney's done that bit at least the last time he was on, maybe more. Very long musical about New York City. Kind of a beat. Not just the show was really long, the sketches were really long.
The sketches were too long. No, there's no doubt.
Even the songs,
Yeah.
the Sandler song, which is great. We could play some of it if you want, but it was 5.5 minutes. The McCartney song at the end was 5.5 minutes.
It's 5.5 minutes I skipped.
I didn't understand, like, well, I think Miley and Brittany Howard are great. They got a song at the concert Friday night.
Yeah.
I didn't know why you had to do that. I didn't really understand the Lil Wayne thing either.
Well, I can tell you this about Lil Wayne. To anybody who is still bitching and moaning that they went with Kendrick Lamar instead of a Louisiana artist like Lil Wayne, I think you saw why. He's awful at this point.
Yeah.
Like, the guy's enough drugs, enough living. You put him up there, it's a joke. He was embarrassing.
The 40th, and I only know this because I watched it yesterday morning, the 40th felt more like looking back at the history of the show. Or last night felt like looking back at the last 10 years of the show.
Well, I mean, they worked in. Yeah, I guess it wasn't looking back at the history as much as it was let's work in some of the guys. Like Eddie Murphy was in a couple bits.
Yeah.
Not enough Eddie Murphy for me.
Boy, he's awesome.
He is awesome.
His Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan impression is nails.
I
He
didn't
did
know
Black
he had-
Jeopardy, imitated Tracy Morgan on Black Jeopardy, but he was in another bit too.
He was
Oh,
in the Scared
prison-
Straight bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keenan and Will Ferrell.
I would
as
have
Big Red.
liked to see a Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood, like at his age now, or
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Steve Martin opening, obvious choice, I guess. Especially when you put it against another multi-time host. You put Alec Baldwin later, and he seems like he's older than Steve Martin, yet he's got to be 20 years younger, right?
A murder charge will.
But
age
he
you.
seems a little rough.
Yeah, no, and I thought by contrast, like I out loud when Steve Martin was wrapping up, I'm like, he's got it.
He's 79.
Yeah, and he was
Baldwin's
just
66.
very much on top of his stuff.
Okay, yeah, no. Baldwin seems like he's fallen apart, and Steve Martin is as good as ever, it feels like.
Yeah,
Again,
and Steve Martin was the monologue host for the 40th too. So I thought they would do maybe Eddie Murphy or someone different, Al Baldwin, whatever. So I thought that was a little strange, but that's an easy move because Steve Martin's good. I did like John Mulaney coming out and having the joke that the hosts are the heart of the show, and it's the most difficult people, but that only 2 of the 894 hosts of the show have murdered someone.
it's very good.
Which I was
Which
like,
is-
hold on,
Who is it, Robert Blake?
Yeah.
Robert Blake and OJ.
Yeah.
And I got to think here. I think it's more because now it's technically not murder, but Matthew Broderick absolutely killed someone, and no one really talks about it.
Car accident.
Car accident. And did Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner ever host? Let me search.
Bruce Jenner has to have.
It feels like, yeah.
Because, that person died in that car accident, I think.
Why did it take you 4 times to spell Bruce?
I think I.
Why'd you just blow up his
Well,
spot?
okay.
You just had to retype Bruce?
No, because I spelled it as
B-U-C-I,
Caitlyn first.
Literally, no one
B-U-C,
would have known.
Well, it was funny to me.
Yeah, I do think Caitlyn Jenner
There you
killed
go. You
someone,
got
though.
it. Look at it.
Like all the, yeah. I don't know. But 2 of 894, that's not.
I mean, unless you want to count like indirect ones, like presidents who
But, like-
wipe out like entire.
In your life, you've met 894 people. How many of them have killed somebody? That might be a gummy thought.
I got a
so.
few. I got
I got a couple too, but
Military counts.
Oh, okay.
oh well.
Cool.
Oh, you guys
murder,
just don't
Is that murdering?
count.
If you're doing
Oh,
it for America,
he
is that
flipped it
murder?
around on me.
Yeah, it's great. Like, it's not a crime if you're doing it for
That's just
America either.
protecting these borders, my friend.
A lot of Amy Poehler.
Too much Amy Poehler is what we like to say over here.
Yeah,
In
that's what I-
fact,
What a
really,
jerk.
really a sad situation that you like. Look, I'm sorry, Tina. That why do I need to have Amy Poehler every time I'm seeing Tina Fey?
Now I know how skin
Tina Fey
feels.
holds it on her own.
I don't know that she does.
That was a good joke, and you guys are just gonna act like I didn't just. Ben would have appreciated that. Anyways, yes, it's a beating.
Too much Amy Poehler.
I
for
think
sure.
I might be okay with Tina Fey, maybe, but I'll never know because There's
just
so
want to
much
make fun
Amy
of me.
Poehler mixed in.
Yeah, there's just too much Amy Poehler. Yes, just take a look at their two shows against each other, and you'll see. One's brilliant, and one's just
Man, I hard disagree.
And I think my opinion of Amy Poehler got worse after the documentary. Because the documentary, Dan, episode 1, and it is worth your time. The first
it's great.
episode is just about auditions. And I totally get this. Like, I'm forced to listen to audio of when I was an intern every now and then. Nobody wants to do it, but she couldn't watch it. She started crying. And I'm like, you pussy.
yeah.
What's the point of the show?
It was a good opening bit. Will Ferrell, I thought, the Robert Goulet bit. And then
Didn't
you
say
got
the
to see-
N-word.
I know, that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was surprised they did Robert Goulet just because of what happened.
Yeah, that's the infamous
Big Papa.
Speaking of not saying,
another.
speaking of not saying the N-word,
Yeah.
we were all on the edge of our seats, I think. So, did you see the In Memoriam?
Thought that was a brilliant bit.
Beautiful.
So, the In Memoriam was in memoriam of comedy we can't do anymore, whether it's racial stereotypes or
Sexual assault.
assault, Me Too stuff,
Yeah.
Body shaming.
pedophilia,
Yeah.
at least inferences.
Canteen boy.
Yeah. So that was really funny. But then they're leading up, and the very end is Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor going back and forth. And there's, one of the all-time legendary bits where they're calling each other names back and forth, and it ends with Chevy Chase calling him an N. And then, that's when Richard Pryor had already called him a honky. Then he said dead honky, and that's the punchline. And they did beep it out. They
beeped it out, and for a very meta experience, all of the America, what they were feeling last night, that's what I was feeling just now.
He's about to do it. He might do
Is
it.
he going to say it?
Is he going to say it?
No.
You know what I thought was funny on the In Memoriam is there was a lot of faces blurred out, which I assume just means they were doing blackface.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Because
really?
I don't think there's any.
Yeah, that's what that was.
There's no people they have to blur out. You
Yeah.
guys notice that? There's like towards the end of it,
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of scenes where just the faces are pixelated, and it's kind of dark.
And there's a bunch of
Right there.
they went with the blackface routine a lot. It seems like too.
Yeah, it was not a quick hit.
In
Who?
Full, Jimmy Fallon
Yeah.
as Chris
Oh,
Rock.
yeah.
Full
That
blackface.
because he got
like 20 years ago.
heat for that during like George Floyd. So did Kimmel.
Kimmel,
for Karl
yeah,
Malone.
yeah. Seth and Colbert are like
Tiny
we would
bit
never.
of heat. Every now and again, the Kimmel thing comes back. The Howard Stern things come back, and
Yeah.
they
A
just
lot
kinda,
of stuff for Kimmel, like man show bits.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Somehow though, he's managed to kind of ride that out. Just kind of ignore it.
Yeah.
Kimmel didn't have to diddle that kid in blackface, though. Could have just stopped
Yeah, it
it.
didn't have to be a combo platter.
So speaking of
Method acting, I guess.
too much Amy Poehler, you just mentioned someone else there was too much of. Jimmy Fallon.
There's always too much Jimmy Fallon.
Always too much Jimmy Fallon. His bit is, this is so funny, I'm breaking character. Like he's always on the brink of laughing and then does kind of like, so it's the overselling of how funny this is. It's not really that funny. That's what I think his main bit is.
Did you? Okay, so the homecoming concert Friday night. Did you catch that, Dan? Because
No.
there's a part at the end where they have a quick set change. They got to get someone off the stage, and they're getting Jack White's music set up, his equipment set up. And Jimmy Fallon has to kill about 2 or 3 minutes, and he was fully exposed because he's just like, Jack White's setting up. Oh my God, it's got to be so great. Oh my God. He didn't know what to do. He had nothing. Dude, you got a room full of people. Start going to them or
Get
just
to work.
play to them. Just like treat it like a red carpet. They're saying, how's it going tonight? Put them on the spot or have something. And he was killing time. And he was completely exposed as he was just trying to stretch so they could get Jack White's guitar amp, plugged in.
Yeah, he's the worst.
He's just so fake, If he's a talented dude, it's just be that. But he's always got to be, triple fake.
I did like when Alec Baldwin introed the commercial parodies.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't like seeing quick hit commercial parodies. That's a tough one just to quick hit.
I know it feels like making a montage for the show too. Where you're like, but the bits kind of like the payoffs later. How do I edit this?
Yeah, but I did like the member berries of I had to remember then in my head the whole payoff and the bit.
After update.
But I did like that he introed it, and it was brought to you by After Update, which is just what was that?
This is a sleep medication.
A sleep medication. Any spot things that are on After Update, and third year veneers, because that's our bit. Is that we want veneers. At least I do, and Jake does. I'm not sure if Blake's in that camp yet.
I'll keep my teeth.
Year 3 of the Dumb Zone, you'll be able to afford them.
You get to keep your teeth. I think they just put a little something on top of them.
Yeah, they grind your teeth down. I've been doing a lot of research.
I'm okay.
Yeah, so let us hear from you if you want to hook us up with veneers.
In the third year.
Yeah. Next year. Yeah, that could be the year of Jake.
Yeah.
If we can get you veneers.
You guys think?
What if we get you veneers now? Can the year of Jake have started on Feb 15th? If you get veneers like this month. Man. Because that'd be great. That's a life change. And we're all like, dude, they're too big.
I just feel like I appreciate what you're doing.
Why'd you do this?
But I just feel like it's not possible. It's not possible.
To pull this year out of the ditch.
You can't do it.
Dude, let's add a little Botox.
We have 10 and a half months ahead of us. You're saying in that time.
Cowboys Super Bowl, but then we won't know that's the next year. So no, I'm fucked. There's no coming out of this.
Dude, the Rangers are going to be back this year, dude.
Can I play a quick piece of audio?
Yeah.
Blake, speaking of, I am so sorry.
What?
Big sigh.
I'm old and I gotta
move.
make noises when I get up. Sorry, you're unmuted.
So now we know where Dan gets his inspiration from. This is one of the sketches that Kate McKinnon was in. Oh,
And
you
after
pulled me
all
up.
of that,
What happened?
you didn't even put your source right.
It's on there.
And it's gonna be Kate McKinnon.
And
Man.
I'm tossed into the bottom of the ship. I see my old pals, the gray aliens with the big dumb eyes.
Mrs. Rafferty, I'm told this is your 5th time being abducted by these gray aliens?
Yeah. Only other place I've been pantsless 5 times is Six Flags.
Okay, well, let's move.
That one went on really long.
Two similarities there, two comedic geniuses, Dan and Kate McKinnon.
What do you mean?
Kate McKinnon's great. Everyone's fighting
I know
that,
what you're
really?
doing. I don't know. She's a woman. No.
That's the whole rule, though. That show, if you're not writing sketches for the women, then you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Ask Jay Moore.
Is that what happened to him?
I did. I was just reading that because Dan told me to read that book. It's great.
You didn't like the book?
The
No, I
SNL
love
book?
it. I love it.
I'm still like...
No,
I
the Jay
put it
Moore
down.
SNL.
Jay Moore
Oh.
book.
He has one just about his 1 year at SNL.
Oh, yeah.
It's wonderful.
Interesting. No, I mean, I think Kristen Wiig is probably my favorite of that ilk, which I kind of group all them together from that era.
I agree. She's the best.
But I was a huge Molly Shannon and Sherry O'Terry fan.
Okay, Molly Shannon had a good night.
She did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are y'all? I mean, I don't know if y'all have watched a lot of this season. Are y'all familiar with the Domingo bit that was going on?
The fill us in.
So it's like they've done this twice this season. So I was very surprised that it made last night's episode. And it's Chloe Fineman and Andrew Dismukes are married, but in the second episode of this season, she hooked up with Marcelo Hernandez, the little short guy, Domingo, and they do a little sing-song thing. Goes huge on TikTok or whatever. Blows up. They bring it back like 3 or 4 weeks later. And they brought it back last night for the third incarnation of this bit they've already done this season, just because it had legs online. But Molly Shannon was like grinding on Bad Bunny and playing, she was basically playing her role from Talladega Nights, where she's
drunk and
getting vibrated
slutty.
onto the NASCAR wall.
She's very good.
She was funny.
She's very good at that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bad Bunny,
hey, his album's good, dude.
Did Bad Bunny make a real album?
Yeah, it's good. Well,
because he played Friday night at the SNL the concert, and we were talking about it. Everybody's all messed up. We're like, "It's not Bad Bunny's music. It's a cover." He put out like a real Latin album, and it's good.
Yeah.
And I guess he was in a couple sketches last night. At
they
least.
love Bad Bunny. Yeah.
People love him.
People love him.
I saw Molly Shannon every evening. My wife watches that day's Today Show, so she was on the Today Show like Friday or last Thursday because they were doing lead-ups to this. Or maybe it was Willie Geist on Sunday. I
Oh,
can't
my God.
recall.
Gosh, she
Willie
loves
Geist
Willie
is
Geist.
everywhere.
She loves Willie Geist. She loves Willie Geist, folks.
Wasn't he hosting
He
the
was one of the red carpet
last
guys.
night?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was a really corny, it was really cheesy, and it was just Molly Shannon talking about her time, and they were just going over some of the sketches, and I thought it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Like, it was really dopey and
Cool.
gay and whatever, like, but it was just, I don't know. It seemed great. Just
She's
talking
funny.
about the memories. Yeah, I love Molly Shannon. They had some deep thoughts by Jack Handy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Good.
And then, if you even call this a controversy, it's mostly just an online thing, but Tom Hanks pulled out his MAGA hat character that I think he did it in 2020.
Yeah. On Black Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Doug.
And so, like, yes, online there's a little bit of
What, you're just not supposed to
backlash on that.
acknowledge
Yeah.
those people exist, or?
You can't make fun of it.
Well, can you make fun of a huge forehead and small hands? Like physical deformities?
You can make fun of that.
Yeah. Where does
Yes.
where does the ableist draw the line?
Yeah.
Right. Because they don't like cancel culture.
The other
So we're not going to watch you anymore, and we're going to boycott you.
Yeah, there was a couple strained moments like that. Like Mike Myers was in a scene, and I think it might have been for Coffee Talk. Coffee Talk.
Linda Richmond.
And he, gave an opinion of like, can I just say something? The progressive era was neither progressive nor an era. I said it. It's like, they fucking get it, Mike Myers. We get it. You think this whole, like, I don't know. I know that it happens, but crotchety old comedian who's mad about the way comedy is now, it just doesn't work for
Well,
me.
there's a lot of people in the audience last
Yeah,
night
I
who
know.
were feeling that probably because there was not a lot of olds getting time last night. And there was in the 40th, although there was way fewer sketches in the 40th. The 40th was maybe 4 or 5 sketches. Last night there was like 10.
Yeah.
But it was more retrospective.
It was more pre-packaged stuff. Like I liked I liked that they went a little different. They did like a physical comedy thing, and it was like 2 minutes, and it was short. I thought the digital thing was good with Andy Samberg, and just clowning on everyone for having. I mean, it's very inside, and it's like they were all doing the show for themselves a little bit.
A lot of the jokes were like that. A lot of writer jokes. A lot of jokes about
how Lauren acts, or this
yeah,
and that,
or about
yeah.
the nurse, or the their version of like Bill Geiger or something.
I thought a lot of Adam Sandler's song was that too.
Yeah, it was.
But I did like it a lot.
I mean, he was mentioning like directors and people behind the scenes at the end of it.
Yeah. It was all about 50 years of this and that.
4 of Kazarinsky and Klingon, 11 of Armisen, 14 years of Davis and Handy.
This part made me a little sad.
Like 25, 18 of Audrey Dickman and Davey Wilson, plus Among and Disco and Bobby Van Ryn. 30 years of Downey, 45 years of Lorne, 6 years of our boy Farley, 5 of our buddy No.
That's tough. Tough.
That is tough.
I have said he's got that in his car. He can make everyone cry.
Get a
Just
little
like
Farley and a
that
little
and the
Norm.
Farley song, yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Introduced by Jack Nicholson, which I believe was only done so that we could prove he's alive.
Yeah, he's still there. He looks way. He also got to do an introduction in the 40th too. I swear he's put on 100 pounds.
Yeah, because there's people that have thought he's dead.
Well,
over the last
he
year
might
to 2 years.
be dementiaed up or something.
Yeah.
Because he seemed to have a handler.
Oh, he had a handler.
A young, nice-looking handler.
Sure.
No way.
If you're like 90, you want to have a 29-year-old woman with you at all times, I
Yeah,
think, right?
But even with handler, I wasn't certain he was
But
able to.
it seemed like she was
live-
directing him
for
to,
sure.
this is what you say, this is the time you say it now.
You're old, man.
87. Damn.
87?
I thought Weekend Update. I was glad that they let Colin and Michael do it because they've been doing it for over 10 years now. Because I thought they might just run Tina and Amy in there or something.
Why not let CQ take a run at it?
Well, Colin's fine. Colin Quinn's fine, but I don't think you think of him. But the Bill Murray.
Underrated.
I think so too.
Colin, absolutely he was.
I think he was
He's
underrated.
good, but he followed Norm.
I remember his first opening to Update after Norm, and I was so ready to hate him. Think you're doing here?
What was it?
He just gave the bit of like, hey, I'm not Norm.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
And
He's like, he had like a bartender reference of like, it's the same drink. I'm going to make it a little different. Hopefully you like it.
New York
But I remember
accent.
like watching it, him coming on and being like, you're not.
No, I was
dude,
mad. I
God.
didn't like him at all.
Yeah.
For years,
he
I
never
didn't
had
like
a chance.
Yeah.
And Drew Carey's not a bad host of The Price is Right. He just followed Bob Barker. So it's like, you fucking suck, guy.
Yeah.
And it's just not his problem. But it's,
Yeah.
well, it is his problem. But I
was glad they did it,
There's
though.
maybe like 5 people on the planet who could get away with what Bill Murray did. It's like, here, for 5 minutes, I'm going to do the ranking thing, and I'm just going to make all the jokes. And I love doing the bit with, I mean, I pulled it, but we don't have to worry about plugging it in. I thought it was really
It's
good.
a lot.
Like kicking and, kicking Colin Jost in the nuts, and Colin Jost takes it all the time. It's beautiful. And then very quickly, he's like, I wish we had time to say something about Kevin Nealon and Seth Meyers. And Colin's like, well, we do have time. He goes, no, we're at 6, Colin.
Yeah, just moving through it.
And he goes up the list, and it's funny that he mentioned Chevy Chase, who they famously hate each other, and he says, we wouldn't be able to do it without him, and that's why he's 4th. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
Bill Murray still got it. So
Him and Steve Martin to me were
the
hey, they can still do it.
even his
overnight.
first joke about he listed the top African American host was Michael Che,
Yeah.
and he's like, now the normal ones. He's like, wait, what?
I'm glad they let them do it too. Those guys have grown on me.
oh, dude, I think they're very good, and they work really dark, which is fun. I think what do you say? Norm Macdonald was number 2 on his weekend update rankings. The one guy who made me think OJ might have actually done it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Very good.
Just perfect. But then, I don't really need Drunk Uncle again. So, it's just a lot. There's just a lot
I
of
didn't
stuff.
mind Drunk Uncle. I'm a Drunk Uncle guy.
Yeah. He just did it so much.
Yeah.
Doesn't have much else in the bag.
Yeah, it's about all he's got, and we got a little Debbie Downer. I enjoyed Debbie Downer.
That's not too much Jimmy, but yes.
Yeah. Again, any Jimmy is a little too
Yeah.
much.
But they clearly didn't want to do things that they did at the 40th because there were no repeats. Like, people, where's Wayne's World? Things like that. They did that 10 years ago. They weren't going to do that again. I also thought they would have something for the Beavis and Butthead thing because the Beavis and Butthead sketch is
That was great.
automatic.
They've done more than one?
Legend. No, just
Okay,
one.
Gosling and Mikey
And
Day,
Gosling
right?
wasn't there, and that's probably why they didn't do it. But like very quick, legendary status of a sketch and nothing because Gosling wasn't there.
There's definitely one thing I'd like from the last 10 years for us to just kind of act like it didn't exist, and that's Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Boy, he'll get forced into something.
Can we
Yeah.
wipe that one clean, do the Men in Black click deal, and just act like we didn't do Hamilton?
It was such a
culturally?
cultural thing. That's why they brought that in, right?
I know.
But yeah, no,
I just don't need it. I think it was a dark time for us as a country.
I thought it was cool to see Larry David in the crowd, only in the sense that the legendary Larry David story is that he quit SNL. That's where the Seinfeld storyline comes from, George quitting his job at the Yankees and then going back to work on Monday. Because Larry David, I guess, did that after a show. And Mother effed everybody there and told Lauren off and said he's out and quit. And then he went back to work on Monday.
Beautiful.
And just showed up.
Well, speaking of that too, there was the great gag was that Lovitz he had to be at the American Girl doll store across the street
Seating? Yeah.
so Elaine could have her service dog, but the service dog's blind. But on Arrested Development, remember she plays a blind person with a service dog. So I thought that was like a little bit of a nod to Arrested Development. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not.
Or
She still looks great.
She does. The joke about the writers.
Yeah, that was good.
How we couldn't do anything without them, and then they were outside in the rain.
Yeah, and I had just watched the Writers episode. So there's a Writers episode. There's
this documentary?
Writers episode, audition episode, The Weird Year, which is 12th season, 85, or maybe it's 11th.
Yeah.
And then there's an entire episode on the More Cowbell sketch,
That's
which at
great.
the beginning you're like, there's no way, and they actually pull it off in a not totally annoying way. But there's an episode on the Writers, and boy,
dude,
if you talk about some people Blake needs to hang out with, just bitching. Just everything about their job is the worst, and I wish I was. And it's like, dude, this is a great gig, you know.
That show's impossible.
It is impossible, but it's also like I just wish they would be having fun doing it. Like every writer you talk to is like, this is hell. You know, this is. I mean, I think I have PTSD. It's like, dude, you're writing come on. Crank a little Adderall, stay up for 24 hours on Tuesday, write some funny shit, and then party.
Dude, you were in court. That sounds incredibly fun.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Like sitting in front of the judge and going through litigation? That sounds awesome. You should have had fun doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying this is like but it's
what I see on TV. It looks badass. You in front of a jury?
But they're like, I'm saying it's a fun job. Like being in front of court nobody's like, boy, what's the fun version of that? Their job, and I'll tell you something else. The writers don't seem like funny people in the show.
Yeah.
They're like playwrights and poets.
Yeah.
Who understand like structure of a scene
and how to write for people.
How to write for people, but they're not exactly the funnest. Like, hey, where's the Coke?
Yeah, are they the fun guy at a party?
Yeah, it didn't seem like it.
I also never think about the like architecture.
Oh my God, that part is
engineering
crazy.
Of the sets. That part blew me away because it's just I don't think about that because if I would have done.
You're talking about the documentary.
Yeah, but you could see it even last night after you've watched the documentary. Watching the show feels different. Just watching the way that they wheel stuff in and how quickly they get people on and off. But I mean, I didn't realize the writer of a sketch is basically in charge. Once you get like, hey, we're picking your sketch, you got everything.
You're the director.
So you're going to the costume department and the set department, and they've got like blueprints. Like you're designing a house. And they're like, this is going to be over here. And the writer's like, I think it'd be better if this was turned, this piece of equipment was turned this way. And they'll go over the different prosthetics with them.
Oh, my God.
Like, it's crazy. The writer's in charge of that.
There's so many cheat codes. Like, if you want to get a sketch on, don't write a door into your sketch.
Yeah.
Because it's too hard to engineer a door on a set. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's the best part of all this is just like the hours of SNL content that we've got. All of that outshines what happened last night.
There you go.
100%. I mean, I think the funniest thing from the weekend happened Friday night, which is on Peacock. I'll give you my password later if you want it.
Is it Backstreet Boys?
Well, that was weird. That was very weird. But it was Will Ferrell and on a guest star doing the Culps, the old high school music teachers.
Yeah.
And
Bobby Moy.
They're going through, and what I realized is because of music and copyright laws, they never got a chance to have like a second life on YouTube like some old sketches have. Because of what they're doing, they're just, they're taking songs and basically playing little instrumental versions of them.
Yeah, we're finding out about those laws as well.
It's brutal. It's brutal on those streets.
Laws.
You got to find someone who can make music.
Was it last night or was it? I've been watching other content too. Did they show the Sinead O'Connor ripping up the Pope last night?
They aired that on Saturday night on NBC. Now that was the documentary that Questlove did, the SNL music documentary.
Then
which is great.
I must have tuned in just for that part or something.
Yeah.
They were really getting in depth into that.
You need to see all of that, too, because they get into everything that's where the Ashley Simpson voice
okay, I saw that, too.
Lip sync
so
thing.
I must not have watched. But, yeah, just the whole how she did it, how they did it in dress rehearsal. She had a picture of I think it was a child. She was going to hold a picture of a child up because she wanted to talk about world hunger or something. And
how's that doing?
They're all like... I don't know that many people are hungry anymore.
Good.
Now I am getting a little bit of. We haven't eaten. Usually, we started the show too early today.
All right. Where's those oysters?
Oh yeah.
That's what I was wondering because when they played.
Give me 2.5 hours. I'll go make some oysters.
When they played "Nothing Compares to You" last night, in my head, I was like, "Is Miley about to rip up a picture of Trump?" I was like, "Is she about to do that?" That documentary is great. They have the moment that Dave Grohl mentioned to Christopher Walken the emphasis of Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
They've got the audio.
Yeah, like
never before seen audio.
When you see like the
Foo Fighters.
5-second cutaway, you hear Walken be like, "No, where's the accent on this one?" And Novoselic starts to say Foo Fighters, and Dave's like, "No, it's Foo Fighters."
Okay, so he just lied to him on purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And it seemed like as Dave Grohl started to tell this story, I'm like, no way, this is just the sort of thing people. And then they cut to the clip,
Yeah.
Like the behind-the-scenes clip, and he's like, "It's Foo Fighters," and Walken's like, "Okay, okay."
It's so good, man.
One of the bad, like I had to start that late, but I think it's on demand still.
Yeah.
But on YouTube TV, like you do discover if you just hit SNL for add SNL, it won't do the SNL special show.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
God.
Does anybody follow me here?
No, I know. I
I'm
mean,
with you on that.
It's just a beat.
Sounds like
I
war.
want all the stuff associated with SNL.
Who won? Who won
Who won?
the bracket from last night?
What bracket?
Well,
Yeah, did you have a bracket
of the
for-
night?
Has anyone been relegated?
I'm telling you, no, there were no points. And by the way, your representation texted me. I think that because Steve Martin was the monologue host, he should count. And I was like, no, I made the rules like at the beginning of the season that the SNL 50 episode won't count.
Yeah.
So
come
Chris
on, what is this?
Spinks
A bonanza?
Who got?
His Dan's Speaker of the House,
My
Chris
GM,
Spinks,
who did
he's
the
like,
drafting.
But in the Old Testament, it would be, and I'm like, dude, no, you're not getting a point for that.
Did anyone hit the daily double?
No one's at the Daily Double yet. There are a couple possibilities, though. I mean, Dan's Daily Doubles are
No one had Chalamet?
Leon Bridges and Bill Belichick. You think Belichick's going to host SNL?
I don't hate that.
That was my sleeper.
I don't hate that.
My 2-pointer, right?
Yeah, my buddy Jesse, who used to work at Kimmel, he had Timothy Chalamet, so he got the 2-pointer there. But yeah, no, that's not bad, Dan. Leon Bridges and Bill Belichick, that's possible. TC had Nathaniel Rateliff and Phineas. TC's got no points. It's not looking good for him.
How's Phineas?
Dana Carvey wasn't there last night either. Phineas is
That's interesting.
I said, how is he? Just how's he doing?
He does that podcast with David Spade, and David Spade was there.
Yeah. That,
I liked David Spade's bit of being over the musical. It's a
what did
good
he say?
line.
Like, I get it.
I got a good feel for it.
Yeah, I definitely felt that. Like, this bit, too long.
Well, I think that's the thing is like if you haven't been watching SNL for the last 10 years, you don't know that Mulaney comes back and hosts and does a New York musical every time. It's like the sixth one he's done. So, there's a lot of people going, "What the hell's this?" I just wanted to watch, Farley, old clips of Farley and stuff.
Speaking of Chris Farley, that reminds me of Qualis Roofing,
Yeah?
who brings us today's talk about SNL. Qualis Roofing put the roof on this house, this very house.
That's right.
Not just the garage part, but the whole house. And they're awesome. They are big-time listeners, long-time supporters.
But I live in Austin, Dan.
Well, actually, they do have we don't want to focus on Austin, I don't think, but you could go to QualisGC.com. Is that the website?
Yes,
guys? Did I get that right?
QualisGC.com.
Okay, yeah, because somebody did email us from Austin saying, hey, actually, I looked up Qualis Roofing around here, and they are here. So they have an office down there, but if you get a roof with Qualis, they will pay for a sit-in on your behalf, right here or in our studio downtown Dallas. But just for getting your roof inspected, which apparently insurance companies say that you should do every year, just to get an inspection, they'll give you either an annual subscription to the Dumb Zone or they'll give you a Dumb Zone T-shirt. So why don't you check out Qualis Roofing? Why don't you? That's not a good answer.
Not going to ask again.
QualisGC.com. They got a number?
They do. 817-500-9008. Kevin, what was it?
Man, I got a bad
817-500-9008 for QualisGC.com.
So, want to do some news?
Sure.
Here's
817-500-9008.
There you go. Well, I'm sure you guys were wrapped up in this news story like I was over the weekend. Nothing better than popping on the old local morning news, seeing what the state, the city, the metropolis are talking about. And, of course, I'm talking about the scandal that has gripped New Mexico police regarding DWI cases. This was on all 3 mornings on local TV out of Albuquerque. And I'm like, whoa, this is a big story. I'm never going to hear about this at home, but this is the sort of thing. It was on every newscast, morning and night out there. And what it was, it's like a 3-year-long investigation and scandal into a couple of local defense attorneys in Albuquerque and the police. and the police would arrest people and send them to this attorney, and there was like a little agreement, and that guy, the attorney, would get the DUI dropped, and the cop would still get the stats for the DWI arrest. So they had worked out this deal with a couple local defense attorneys of like, hey, just make sure they come to me, and then because they pay me the extra $10K, we're going to have you not show up at the court hearing. They're going to get off. I split the money with you, and we just keep this thing rolling. So much so that one of the guys who got hemmed up was Officer of the Year in 2023 because of his record of DWI arrests.
Ah. And he'd get $5,000 for each one, huh?
It doesn't say like the exact split or whatever, but it does say, like in June of 2022, FBI received a tip from another local attorney about an alleged DWI case that he dealt with, where he came to this attorney and said, hey, I was told by this other guy if I pay him $10K, I'm off scot-free. Do you have the same deal? And that guy was like, no wonder they've been destroying me in business. I'm going to call the FBI.
That's pretty genius, because all it would take really is a cop in that moment, rather than kind of being a dick towards the drunk person, is just to whip out a business card like, hey, man, that's tough. You need some help.
Yeah.
Here's my guy, Michael Lawyer. And you just hand him the business card, and the drunk guy's like, oh, I got police. Like the officer was really nice to me.
The problem is you're still getting a DWI. So even if you have to pay, like, and you're going to have to pay a lot either way.
It doesn't get off your record?
I think it might at a certain time.
Yeah.
But even then, it's such a...
Well,
and I'm being honest. I've never dealt with
in theory, they would get a DWI anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So it's not like...
Unless they were being like a little bit more...
It's not like they're in on it.
Yeah, and it doesn't say that they were like planting evidence or anything of that nature.
And if you're getting a... Unless it was like a repeat offender, if you're getting a DWI for the first time, you don't know which defense attorney to call.
Yeah, and they were definitely directing them to this one.
The cop was really nice to me through all this, though, and he gave me a business card, so I guess I'll use them. It makes sense.
And this is one of those type of deals. It's kind of like with the Luka trade, where after it happens, now we're going to learn about all this stuff that was apparently a big problem all along. Like, oh, he's just been fat this whole time. We're like, well, we weren't really talking about that because we were talking about him winning. This has spawned an investigation into Albuquerque's police department that has exposed decades of corruption and scandal.
Let's go.
Malfeasance?
Malfeasance? This feasance was a bit mal. Yeah. Bribery, extortion, racketeering, all sounds like feasance of the mal variety to me.
And where's this? Albuquerque?
Yeah. And there's not a whole lot going on in New Mexico.
We were in Albuquerque for a night.
We were. Yeah. And
Remember we were told.
A lot of malfeasance.
Yeah.
We were told.
Park the RV over here.
Yeah, if you're going to park over there, it's...
I brought my Arrowhead water in. I was afraid of it getting stolen.
I will have you know, and I did have to, I felt like a real businessman who could explain things to my buddies when I saw this. But while watching the local news in New Mexico, I saw a PSA featuring Bryan Cranston in character.
Wonderful.
And he was like, it was for waste, trash, and recycling. And he was like rolling a can in the desert in his underwear, like, hey, even I dispose of my, whatever. And
okay. That's the same as Walker, Texas Ranger being that for Texas.
Yeah.
Does he?
For sure.
Yeah, somebody threw a can on the ground and he cried or something.
Yeah, he's all of a sudden Mr. Albuquerque.
Yeah, and so a couple, my buddy was like, dude, is he down that bad? Like, why is Bryan Cranston doing... I'm like, this has to do with taxes. Now, I don't know that I could explain it beyond that, but I do feel like...
But we all nodded when you said,
yeah. Like, he's doing this for the state of New Mexico, and somehow they're letting him do this in the state of New Mexico.
Right
Just trust me, there's taxes involved here. Moving a couple things from here to there.
Brilliant.
So anyways.
But we don't really know to me.
What state does
that's another, by the way, that's another fun thing to do, especially if you go to a foreign city on a Friday, Saturday. You get up early, you're watching the morning news on Friday, and you're like, hell yeah. These are Because what you're watching are a lot of mid-majors who are ready to make a Cinderella run. Like, their Friday morning lady, she'll be in Dallas if she plays her cards right 5-6 years from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then what you get Saturday morning, Sunday morning, where you might find the Albuquerque TV equivalent of the Shake Joint. And you notice that the Sunday morning anchor in a mid-market just kind of looks like a cashier. It's very funny to watch. And they throw it over to the guy, and he's a dork. You know, it doesn't work out, doesn't look funny. Is white, so you know he generally has no upward trajectory in the media. But not a lot going on in New Mexico, thus the gravity of this story.
Local news is fun.
I love it, dude.
It's
One of my
when
buddies
you go
said
visit
something.
somewhere,
It was
yeah.
like, we got it fired up, and we just kept it on every afternoon and every morning. Let's see what they got going on here.
Yeah.
No, I felt very old, man. When we were at Fox last week and I saw Dan Godwin walk in, I was like, oh my God, that's Dan Godwin. I'm like, who the hell am I?
Dude.
I don't care about Dan Godwin.
I freaked out too last time I was there. Popped out of the bathroom right before. I was like, Dan Godwin. Me and Danny were freaking out. We used to watch him every morning.
Hey, look, there's Steve Eager.
We did touch on this earlier, but assistant coach of the Dallas Mavericks, DA Daryl Armstrong, arrested and charged with aggravated assault. It's a call between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning.
Uh-oh.
They say that this was an argument between DA and a woman over some text messages she found.
Uh-oh.
And even further reporting indicates that it was him saying he supported the Luka trade. Do it.
Come on, man.
And she found him and confirmed about him, and he said, "Bitch!"
I'm on her side then. And I'd probably be on her side anyway. Probably can't hit a lady with the pistol.
He went full Russ Martin on her, huh?
Whoa.
For the pistol, huh?
Yeah.
That's
what
worse. Worse than punching.
I think so. We were discussing this yesterday too, and it's like pistol whipping is kind of the worst of all outcomes because I think your thought is, I'm going to get out this gun, and then that's going to kill everything right there. Like, they're going to be like, well, I'm going to stop messing with you because you have this gun.
Okay, so that's what happened. She stayed lippy.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
You know you're supposed to clam up once that happens. But
Right.
she knew he wasn't going to shoot her,
But
and he didn't.
She called his bluff.
So give him that for restraint.
For not shooting her.
Yeah, give him a little point.
Give a little tiny point there.
But
now, as KT alluded
what
to
can
earlier,
you hit a woman with and it's okay?
Penis?
Cock whip?
Yeah.
I've seen
I don't
indications
know.
that
Pillow?
they like that.
They like pillow fights.
I think just with each other.
Yeah.
Like that's what they do on girls' trips, right?
What about attention and care?
You can hit them with that?
That's what I do.
Okay.
No, but KT referenced this earlier. Larry Taylor, who is an attorney for DA, he's an A for DA, says, quote, "We are in the preliminary stages of conducting our own independent investigation.
Let's find out
into
for
the
sure what happened.
circumstances surrounding yesterday's
He's going to
incident."
investigate his own
Don't
thing.
let the mainstream media tell you
Get
what's
back to
going
you.
on.
Yeah, we'll run our own thing over here, and we'll.
Dude, he's been a coach for the Mets for like 15 years.
He has been for a very long
What in
time.
the
10th
world?
season, and he was around before that. Boy, there's so much we could get to today. Now I feel like I'm under the gun. Elon had another baby.
What?
Yeah.
This
This
is
is
a
what,
big
this is
story.
like 20 for him?
13, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that he had that many.
Now, many of them are via IVF.
Like he was never actually with them?
Correct. He donated his
Oh.
chism. This one, it's a little unclear, though. And it's a weird story because it first broke. The New York Post did an interview with this woman named Ashley St. Clair, who is an influencer of the conservative variety.
It's a hot name.
Ashley St. Clair?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she's 26 now. And she did this article with the New York Post, right? They go to her apartment in Manhattan. They interview her, and she's like, "I'm breaking my silence. I am the father of Elon Musk's 5-month-old child." And they're like, "Well, why are you doing?" Or excuse me, the mother of the child. And they're like, "Well, why are you doing this?" And she said, "Because the press has been all over me, and the tabloids are trying to expose this, so I'm just gonna do it." It's like,
But they weren't.
They asked her, "Would you care to tell us who?" No, can't tell you that.
Okay. So nobody was at. She
Feels
just released
pretty
this on her
organized
own.
on her part.
Yeah.
Now, she says that he's funny, he's down to earth, that he slid into her DMs, and then I think maybe she interviewed him, and after the interview, he's like, "Hey, do you want to leave somewhere with me tonight?" So in this one, it kind of sounds like he hit it.
Well, if she should have the DM then for proof.
She does have some.
He can delete those.
He can.
Oh,
he
yeah,
can go right to the root. So his only comment regarding this matter since it happened, somebody found some Twitter interactions with her. Like, she tweeted something like, seeing a lot of men leave their families' lives early, and you don't think about what that does to the kids. And he just, hearted it. And then someone else found another photo where about 5 years ago she was responding to his tweets, and he responded to that too with a whoa.
I like to imagine there's a big daycare center room at the White House with a bunch of little genius kids.
I want to get to that in a second. Yeah, somebody found this tweet. It says, Ashley St. Clair plotted for half a decade to ensnare Elon Musk. And she had commented, well, he actually has 7 kids and goes through women pretty fast. That was 5 years ago. Someone screenshotted that. Then yesterday, Elon just replied, whoa. He has not acknowledged the child. He did acknowledge one of his other groups of kids over the weekend. The mom posted a photo, and he just hearted that. What I'm here to tell you, though, is that now that there's 13 of them, it's 5 women. The bad news is you're probably going to have to learn all these people's names, and they're essentially going to be the dynastic soap opera of the next 50 years of American life.
Isn't his kid's name X?
But the one whose name is that, or however you actually say it,
I don't know how to say it. The one with Grimes?
the one with Grimes, you're going to have to learn how to say that kid's name. And they're going to be vying for control of America. Dude, just think about it. It's
Was
simple.
that the one in the White House the other day?
I think so.
Who was telling Trump he's not president?
I think so, right, Blake?
I don't remember. I was just thinking, though, that these Musk kids are going to be fighting against Barron, right? That's going to be the
Oh,
battle.
my God.
That's the song
Endgame.
of fire and ice we got
Yes.
ahead
I like
of us. Barron versus the Musk
Boy,
children.
I like
Now,
that
will
a lot.
one of them be Emperor of Mars?
I'm going to try for sure. But you're going to know these kids' names. He's the richest person in the world, and he's not like Bill Gates chill, you know? He's Elon Musk. He wants to have 13 kids. He wants to have a semen farm. He actually believes that, he's rewriting history. His kids are going to be all we talk about. One of them's probably going to own the Cowboys.
Might be an upgrade.
I'm just saying.
Why not?
If
Worth
you're
a
tired
shot,
of these
right?
people, they're not going
yeah.
anywhere. And yeah, what? I don't. Is Trump going to put up with this? Like, watching Trump
That's
get
what
cuffed
I'm-
by a 6-year-old the other day, I was like, stand up for yourself.
That's what
Come
I'm
on.
waiting on. At some point.
He's got to do it. Just hit the kid.
Yeah.
Like, that kid bitched him around more than anybody has in the last 10 years.
While the media is talking to Elon in his office.
Don't like it if I'm Trump.
Dude, that's a little too close.
Yeah. And he had to sit there. It was like 10, 15 minutes. He's just stewing. Can't end well.
It's an amazing time. Don't you think?
It is wild.
He's sitting there wearing his stupid hat.
Elon hosted SNL once.
Yeah.
Elon and Trump were invited last night,
Oh, really?
but Trump chose to go to Daytona 500.
I heard he flew Air Force One over it. That kind of rocks.
He had
Like that was the flyover?
Yeah.
Before
Well,
the-
I mean, I know they flew. I don't know if they did another one as well, but
he has a little granddaughter with him.
They should parachute him in.
ooh, yeah.
That'd be dope.
But no, trust me. There's going to be a day where you're going to be like, I don't love Baron, but I love him more than Exodark Sidereal or Techno Machanikas.
Because
Yeah, if those are your choices, you're voting Barron.
Yeah, Baron and the boys.
Like, you're going to pull that lever.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll have like his own team. He'll have his E and his Johnny Drama and stuff that we can all come to know and love. Oh, the world. There's your news. Tomorrow we'll get to the 4 Hood County capital murder suspects, Blake.
Hood County news.
I want to check in.
County.
Big story.
Want to check in.
We did that on Friday.
Hood County news.
Hey, let's
Yeah.
do viewer mail birthdays first, brought to us by Fairlease.
Let's do it indeed. Fairlease, fairlease.org. Danny and the boys out there. That is how you want to lease your next vehicle. They'll help you out, like they're helping Blake out. Have they delivered a car to your home yet, Blake?
No, still deciding. Matthew's doing just great work trying to figure out our budget, what we need, mileage, the things
Sounds
that you
like a
don't
lot
think
of work
about.
for you.
No, he's asking a lot of questions. I'm giving a lot of one-word answers, but he's helping me out.
They'll help you save money. Leasing costs less than buying. You'll pay only for the lease amount, not the whole car. It will be very, very simple and straightforward at Fairlease. Now we need you to do this. Go to fairlease.org. Click on How Did You Hear About Us? And then select the Dumb Zone. I'm not kidding. They will deliver a house to your home, to your office. Check them out, fairlease.org.
A car.
What did I say? Deliver a home?
You said a house, yeah.
Yeah, fairlease.org.
They're not going to do that.
You know what? Ask them.
They might. Okay, they might do that. Today's birthdays we start with, I think I mentioned her earlier today, Taryn. Happy birthday to Taryn.
Kind of one of those
Andrews.
people you meet where it always seems like it's their birthday.
You think just life shines and smiles on Taryn?
Yeah, it just seems things are going well generally.
She said, Taryn Andrews, it's my 43rd birthday. My birthday request is for Blake Basketball Jones to cheer on my son Cash's basketball team to victory tonight. The Crum Bobcats face the Dunbar Wildcats.
Ooh,
Oh,
don't
forward
love the
Dunbar.
matchup.
Big one.
Don't love the matchup on paper.
She sent a photo for the new wall. Wait,
You wouldn't hear.
are you privy to the idea? So someone sent us a photo on Friday.
Uh-huh.
A dude sent a photo of his wife. Mm-hmm. And we decided, well, we have to talk to you first. We didn't really decide. But we discussed the possibility of we fire up a new wall downtown.
Yeah, why not?
So I've already started saving the photos in a special
I think it'd be
folder in our
funnier
Dropbox.
if we got seductive photos of the dudes.
This is why we didn't ask him.
Like that your lady has to take a photo of
He'd be
you
all woke
He's
about
gonna
it.
gay it up somehow.
Yeah, he'd be like woke.
showing you like a half
I don't
ball.
have women on them.
guys on there.
We don't need seductive photos of your wife. We just need someone that's not our wife. Oh, say it. Say this slower because my wife's downstairs.
No, she's bitching at somebody at
She bitching
some
out
insurance company.
customer shirt. Anyway, happy birthday
How
to
did Dunbar make the playoffs at 12-16?
Because that Fort Worth district sucks. They take the top 4 teams. I bet they had a good district record.
Anyways.
Dear Uncle Ham Presser, today is the 30-something birthday of my top scromy. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Matt Roberts, a good hard Waco DF. His leader is Danny. He believes the rest of y'all are fine. Also, he never punts. With loving admiration of Jake's courageous heroism, Taylor.
You'll never flip the field if you don't punt.
Yeah.
And greetings, my new Lakers fans, brothers. I won't bother you with the usual nonsense of figuring out my age by adding up random jerseys. I know how much Jake loathes that. I don't want to be responsible for any added stress that might lead to his relapse. I'm 47 today. I'm currently writing this as I watch the snowplows, front loader, and dump trucks take away 18 inches or so of snow I'm dealing with up here in Vermont.
Damn.
There's only 2 of us DFs that I know of in Vermont. So I submit my own birthday. Run the ball, Blake. Dan and Starbucks Brandon Aubrey are my leaders.
Oh,
Well.
let it go.
Okay.
More Julie, more Danny, and we have just the right amount of Sarah Hepela. Nuck Fico, and fuck Patrick Dumont.
Well, you almost had it.
Love you, boys. L77FL, Andrew in Vermont.
I'd like to go to Vermont.
Me too.
What do they got there?
Pretty.
Snow.
Snow right now, yeah. And they're known for their syrup.
Where would you say it is?
The western part of New England, I think.
So it's over there. It's East Coast.
It's probably Hampshire-ish. Maybe there's like
They probably legalized it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Vermont.
Yeah.
It just feels like
I remember it showing up on our list of summer places we could go.
Yes.
It's filtered pretty heavily.
that's part of your.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're legal.
Oh, speaking of that, by the way, we went to. I was not a part of this trip, but there's 2 dispensaries within about 15 minutes out there, and can't say that I would have ever done this, but one of my buddies must have. They called him back the next morning, and he had a couple missed calls from a number in town. He's like, "What's this?" Calls back, and he has apparently he entered his phone number into a raffle.
To win whatever?
Just to win, and they're like, yeah, we got all this wax, all this weed, all these drinks. Just come back and pick it up. Wow. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I would never have entered it either.
Never. Like, what a waste of time.
Well, plus he's on their list now, but I guess we
that
get
would have
free
got
stuff.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be on the list.
The Dumb Zone presents Today.
This will be brought to us by Frankel and Frankel, personal injury attorneys at 214 or 817. Then you dial all 3s. If you get in an accident, if you have a personal injury, and you're dealing with an insurance company, don't do that.
Already a pain.
Frankel's will help you out.
Already a pain. You're confused. You're in a wreck. Take all the guesswork out of it. Don't deal with the insurance companies. Just call the Frankels, 214-817-333-3333.
Here on Monday, February 17th, today in history, in 1801, the U.S. House of Representatives broke an electoral tie between Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr. That means Jefferson became president and Burr became vice president.
It's the way they used to do it.
So that would be like Kamala would be the vice president today.
Which would be awesome.
That'd be interesting.
I mean,
wonder when that changed.
Hillary and Trump would have been a banger.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I think Obama and McCain could have gotten along.
Yeah, they both seemed.
Their debate was very gentlemanlike.
Yeah,
very
McCain
civil.
would be defending Obama against those who called him a Muslim or whatever.
That is a very funny moment, though. I've always enjoyed the underrated racism of that. He's like,
listen, ma'am.
Some people are saying that my opponent is a Muslim, and that's certainly not true. He's a good person.
Right, he's a good man, a family man. We just differ on some certain issues.
Yeah, but just the fact that he's like, now if he were a Muslim, that's fucking disgusting.
Right. Well,
and evil.
But that all started back then. Like, we think that's like now. Like, dude, Thomas Jefferson called John Adams a hermaphrodite. Like,
yeah.
This all started back from the beginning.
Get the guns out.
It makes me not feel as bad.
Get the choppers.
Yeah.
On this day in 1997, it would be the biggest Dallas Mavericks trade that they would ever have. What?
No, I'm excited for this trade.
This is when they traded with the New Jersey Nets and got Sean Bradley.
Action figure.
I'm going to guess Robert Pack was in that trade.
They got Sean Bradley, Khalid Reeves, DJ Khalid Reeves, and Robert Pack, and Ed O'Bannon.
Ed O'Bannon, UCLA Bruin.
In exchange for...
That son of a bitch.
Jimmy Jackson was the centerpiece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then Sam Cassell, George McLeod, Chris Gatling, and Eric Montross. And yes, that's when Sean Bradley... That was his...
Could walk.
The Mavs would be his...
Okay. It's an accident.
Yeah, nice guy, dude.
But the historical
Damn.
record will reflect that the date in question, he could walk.
Yes.
Thank you.
Like a year off of
But then
Space
this guy
Jam.
now I'm offended guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
Guy's just walking along, riding his bike, and has a major catastrophe. He could barely made it out alive,
Bullied
and you're
his
just
whole-
going to mock him.
His whole life.
I
just
respect
bullied.
him for continuing to fight, actually.
Wasn't he riding one of those bikes with the big giant wheel because he's so tall? Like, he probably would be fine if he didn't ride one of those.
Yeah.
I wonder what his car was like.
All right.
Well, I don't think he was driving a Mustang.
Like Shaq was squeezing into like those small cars.
Mormon.
Yeah,
That's Sean Bradley.
Mormon guy, yeah.
And on this day in 2021, I think it was at Cash Soroy's house, because nearly 1.9 million utility customers in Texas still had no power after historic snowfall and single-digit temperatures created a surge in demand for electricity to heat homes, buckling the state's power grid, causing widespread blackouts. That's when, yes, we were in the freeze here. There was the rolling blackouts, so the electricity would go on for like an hour or a half hour and then off for 4 hours. And we had a fire rolling here, and that's when I was like, I got to do the show. I'm going to have to drive to Dallas and go to Cash Soroy's house. Heat was like, it was too hot. It was too much heat. Just comforters and just what a bedroom. And I slept alone. It was just by myself. It was great. What a few days that was.
That was one of your finer moments.
Walked over to the ticket.
Yeah.
I think you went to your buddy's house or a friend of a.
I did
wife.
one show here.
Yeah, we tried.
You're
doing
at my
it here.
house without me.
Yeah, you were in Dallas.
And then you were in. Is that when you were in the closet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did a show in a closet. That was
like literally, not metaphorically.
No, I've always been pretty open about it.
Yeah.
That was tough. It was also during COVID still. People forget that part. It's like, hey, I have a friend who has power, but they have COVID.
I mean, isn't COVID happening now?
It's true. It's true.
Birthdays today. Famous people birthdays. More famous than Taryn. Michael Jordan, 62.
Damn.
Jordan. Bird. Magic. Kobe. Shaq.
I do hate the way he said Kobe.
Kobe. Shaq. I've listened to it like 100 times.
I just don't think
now.
about it.
Those are the hard workers.
I just play it over and over in my head. Kobe. Bird.
Those are either the hard workers of his youth or the only 5 players he can name
100%.
I'm gonna say that one.
that are not on the map.
He's like the Monstars.
Muggsy Bogues.
I'm saying Sean Bradley was one of the
Sean
monsters.
Bradley.
Air Bud.
Case Keenum is 37.
Back up.
David Klingler is 56.
Bengals.
Luke Robitaille is 59.
Kings?
Yeah, he has a statue there.
Oh,
Outside of crypto, yeah.
That was in my. Remember, I never did my study of statues across, but I went there and took, 100 photos of all these statues.
Still had the idea, though. I enjoy being a part of your statue journey that lasted one day.
We'll get back to it. Well,
no, it'll be super cool because eventually you'll go there and there'll just be another one where you're like, it feels like that should have been somewhere else. It's dope.
Damn, are they gonna put a Lucas statue outside crypto?
Of course they are. Why wouldn't
it.
they? He's gonna win 3 titles there and go to the Hall of Fame.
He's going to be out of shape the next 5 or 6 years.
First MVP will be there. Of course. It's the house that Luka built.
Daniel Whitney is
Let me tell you
62.
something.
Mm-hmm.
His Mavericks career will be an afterthought to most of the world in 10 years. An afterthought. You'll see a couple highlights. The rest of it will be only in your mind.
You think he'll still be playing in 10 years?
Well, if you
Don't
just
pick
say
apart his
10 years from now, well, I'm just saying, if we fast forward 10 years from now, say his career's been done a couple years at that point. Those 7 years with the Lakers are going to be a lot more important than the 7 years in Dallas. It'll barely be a thing.
And in 7 years, AD will still be putting up. So,
yeah.
Will he be playing?
He'll still be on the DL. Daniel Whitney is 62. You may know him as Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
We had him on.
Yeah, I'd say
great.
that was like the best interview he's done maybe ever.
Michael Bay, 61.
Good
He'll blow some
God.
stuff up on you.
Mm-hmm.
That is an auteur right there.
Is that big in the Chappie
Oh, my God.
Chappie video rental days?
This is just
Like if it
America,
says,
though,
if
right
it says
now.
Michael Bay, I'm renting it.
I mean, just look at the Armageddon, obviously. Bad Boys. I mean, it's
Hey,
just
Armageddon rules, dude.
I know. It's easily a top 5 movie. He did The Rock. He did Pearl Harbor.
I thought I saw Neil deGrasse Tyson saying there's like an asteroid out there that might hit the Earth.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
mansion-sized asteroid.
Yeah.
It's up to like 2%. And it's like
2%.
2028, right?
I thought it was 2032. I also saw a clip of Neil deGrasse Tyson on Celebrity Jeopardy just kind of struggling.
I love Celebrity Jeopardy.
It's like, oh, man, I thought he's supposed to know everything.
Denise Richards is 54.
Man, there was a time. She kind of went crazy, I think. Got way too skinny, and I'm probably into Vax fighting.
Agassi girlfriend?
No.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah. Pre-AIDS.
Yeah.
They have kids together, though.
Sheen?
Who am I thinking of?
I'm pretty sure. You're
Brooke
thinking-
Shields?
Yeah, damn.
Jerry O'Connell is 51. That is Vern in Stand By Me. The fat kid in Stand By Me ended up marrying Rebecca Romaine Stamos. And apparently, according to John Kukla at Fox 4, a great guy, real down to earth.
I could see it.
We'll just glad hand everybody, like just make you feel like $100. Like he's been in the Fox 4 many times, swinging through Dallas.
Rebecca Romaine Stamos, the bearded lady in Dirty Work.
This is true. This is true.
Lucy Davis
call
is
that.
51. That's Dawn from the original Office, the British Office.
Okay.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, 44. Ed Sheeran is 44. Excuse me,
NFL.
34.
NFL, yeah.
NFL
just wrote
hats.
NFL. I have a Sheeran NFL T-shirt.
I got 5 hats.
And Paris Hilton, 44. She's got a tape out.
Rest in peace to her beach house.
Yeah, not great.
Born on this day, now dead, Wally Pipp.
Oh.
He was Wally Pipped by Lou Gehrig. He also led the American League in home runs in 1916 with
8. I think I've heard this before.
Come on.
12.
He had 4.
12. 12 home runs, double digits.
Ooh, the fence is back.
A record that'll never be broken.
Also struck out 82 times that year,
God.
leading the league.
Born on this day, now dead, Haroldson Lafayette Hunt, the father of Lamar, who invented creeping. He would crawl around the floor to make sure he lived longer.
He created night crawlers.
Yeah, with Frank.
Taylor Hawkins,
Oh.
Kind of just
A fighter.
kind of
Foo
didn't
Fighter.
kind of just didn't really talk about a cause of death.
Yeah.
the Foo Fighters drummer from Fort Worth. How did he die?
That's probably an overdose, but
Everyone assumes.
it's one of those things where this is where they messed up, and you guys can take note here and avoid this when I pass. If I pass and it's not like there was a car accident, don't act all like we're gonna get to the bottom of this. Just assume, because you're gonna get to the bottom of it, and then you're gonna be like, oh, it was just opioid, benzos, THC, antidepressant. You know what it was. Taylor Hawkins died in Brazil at like 45 or 50. Just assume.
Could have been natural causes.
Oh, man, we're gonna turn over every stone. Figure out what happened here.
Mine will be from undercooked oysters. Or
Oysters?
something.
Yeah, if you got them from the Gulf Coast, dude.
He's been trying to tell you.
You know what? The message here with the oyster thing, don't do different stuff. Just make salmon and broccoli and you're going to be fine. Like, just if you find something you like, just stick with that. Don't try new things.
You got a good deal, though,
Don't
man.
do anything different ever. That's my point.
That's why your sex life has died and mine's thriving. Because I'll make some oysters on you.
We got it.
Horrible pass at innuendo.
Dead on this day, still dead. Died on this day. Geronimo.
Yep.
Sounds like
Boy,
the execution was hilarious to you guys.
he
Jimmy,
had
within 50 years. What year did he die?
1844.
I already looked. Blake?
1680.
1909.
Yeah, he had
you didn't
different
get it.
types of moccasins, and I know this because Mike Leach wrote a book about him.
Oh, yeah.
And
I might have that book.
in the interview, Mike Leach went on for about 9 minutes on the different types of moccasins that Geronimo would make.
I haven't read it yet, though.
No,
One
you
of
know,
those
it
I bought
seems
it because I
real
heard
boring.
Mike Leach did it, and then I never read it.
Yeah.
The books read on the shelf are the ones on the bottom three things.
Cool, man.
Also died on this day, still dead, Mindy McCready.
Oh.
Country music.
Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens. Oh.
I'm pretty sure he brought her up to the station when she was like 16. Yeah.
Oh, it was okay. Wow, 37.
And Rush Limbaugh died on this day. in the year 2021. Oop.
And that was Today in History.
Closing remarks today.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Will be brought to us by Lone Star
God, that's
Beer.
a
I got
cool
some
hat.
new merch.
Sick hat.
You can get this new merch at lonestarbeer.com. Type in a promo code, which is over here.
It's DumbZone 21.
DumbZone 21. I knew DumbZone was involved. You get 21% off merch. Anyway, Lone Star is our partner. We've collabed with them for quite some time, and we will continue to do so. They're the national beer of Texas, celebrating 140 years of brewing in Texas. Now, don't forget Lone Star Light. In fact, since this is closing remarks with Chris and Sully, I have offered you guys some Lone Star beer and Lone Star Light. It is in the mini fridge. Now, they got here at like 10:30, and we're like, no. But you wouldn't be the first person to ever have a beer in here before noon. Anyway, Lone Star Beer, authentically Texan, awesome merch. Go to lonestarbeer.com. And perfect with a tray of barbecue, it says here. So, any closing remarks?
Probably don't have much.
Okay.
What's the relationship like growing up? Like, did you guys
Between us two?
live in the same home? Were you moving out right when he was born? You said 15.
College.
Yeah, so I was a freshman in high school.
Dad got married again.
Married again. So I went off to college when he was 3. And then I was, I guess, the big scary guy that came home from
Did
college.
you live with Dad?
I lived more with Mom, some with Dad.
Okay. So this was, he didn't even live in your house?
No.
Okay.
And then I was gone.
I have one of those.
When he was 3.
That I am not still in contact with. But the
No,
kid.
we're doing good.
Now, my next half brother, who is same kind of a thing. I'm like 15. All of a sudden, my dad, who lives over here, has a kid. That kid's life way better than mine. He never got the belt.
Yeah.
He got the better. Like my dad made the mistakes with me. That's why my next kids, they're gonna love it. They're gonna have great stuff.
Sometimes my father-in-law will even say that, and I'm like, the first one's here. He's like, I screwed this up.
Yeah, yeah, these ones are great. Like, were you always thinking, boy, that kid's getting way better treatment than I got? No?
No,
you just don't want to say that overtly?
Well, I think my dad's 79 now, and I was 31, so he had me when he was like 48. I think by that point he was just like,
he was out
mailing it in.
Okay,
that sounds awesome.
And I kind of am like, why did you have a kid at 50? Like,
because he had a new young wife, right?
She's
younger.
She's younger,
yeah.
but she's
certainly younger than mom or your mom,
I guess.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that's, of course, my mom would always point that out.
Yeah,
how young my dad's new wife. My dad's new wife was closer to my age than his age.
Did you have to give him the talk? Like, did you teach him about the birds and the bees?
No, that was all like my friends.
Okay.
Because he was just kind of. He got married. I was like 12. So it's just, and his son's now 18. So it's just kind of this. It will always be this like.
That is
little off kilter like.
But you guys obviously have some kind of relationship.
Yeah, we're close.
If you're here together,
and his kids too. Like, I mean, I never had a little brother. His nephew's, or my nephew, his son is 18. Like, we're going to the Davey O'Brien thing tonight.
That's so. It's so weird, but
Jake
so cool.
Voted for
did not have a vote, or did have a vote.
No, I didn't ever. But
the Groza.
I'm like David Spade. on
You're
this
on
bit.
the board.
I get it. I get the.
I got a feel for
I got a feel for it.
Yeah, my son and him are about the same age difference as he and I are. So it's like this.
That's kind of cool.
It's like a half generation deal.
Yeah.
Gonna be in the Notre Dame band.
So what would you like? You would feel uncomfortable busting the son. Like if you saw that he had pot or something, you'd be like, I can't tell my brother. You'd probably fire one up.
Probably sweep it under the rug a little bit.
Yeah.
Be cool. The cool uncle.
Yeah.
Who's like who's 12 years older than he is. So even when he's like 30, I'll be 42.
Man,
It's
I've
not,
told
like,
you guys a story
weird.
about how with Kristen's situation. So I met her family, and she's got aunts and uncles You know, because in this case, her mom's dad got remarried to someone much younger, right? So then he had kids there. So I would meet, she's like, this is my aunt, this is my uncle. But they were like 2 years younger than me.
Right.
But they would still talk to me like they were a rung above on like the family ladder.
Ah.
It's like, you're 28. I was like 32 at the time. They're like, how's you saving? You get a good interest rate? I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, they could tell. You didn't know.
That's true.
But even at the same time, I'd say they had like a very Gen X pop culture influence on, like SNL last night was great because it was like grew up on the Farley Sandler years.
That
and
would
all
be a cool thing about it.
Like Pearl Jam.
Put cool
all
stuff
that
in front of you.
Yeah.
So I was like the only 12-year-old listening to Pearl Jam in 2007. But
well, thanks for the tacos.
Yeah, boys. Thanks for having us. Thanks for the Luca therapy too. The past few weeks, it's been very, very necessary.
Someone enjoys it.
Sorry.
It's been fun.
Adios, mofo.
We gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.
Dating tips. Boop, 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 boop. Blake's dating tips. Ooh, ooh. Blake's got some dating tips. Follow these tips or you'll be remiss. Long, long ago, back in the day, a guy named Blake wanted to get laid. So he went online to find a babe. But what he found was sad to his dismay. He kept swiping left to find a jewel, trying to find a diamond in a pile of stew. But he knew he didn't want to become a fool. So he jotted down a couple rules. First things first, when you get a match, is she hot or is she fat? He had to know before he got